Hey there, and welcome to the podcast. The tinsel's hung, the popcorn has been threaded, the lights are on, the garland is up, the trees have been fluffed. Jenny just finished a nice hot cup of hot cocoa with marshmallows, maybe not. The log needs another fire.
The fire needs another log?
Yes, that too. Which means this is the Instructional Coaching Corner Christmas Extravaganza 2017 edition. Jenny, how's it going? You're a Christmas buff.
I am. I'm super excited about this. This could be my favorite one. I mean, everything else means so much more probably than this one, but this one's just fun.
Okay, so let's let our viewers know that we have to do our public service announcement. If you have downloaded this episode and are thinking, I'm going to listen to this and get 22 minutes to 25 minutes of excellent content that I can turn around and utilize in my classroom, you are absolutely wrong.
Not going to happen this time.
But hey, maybe you have a 25-minute commute and you just want to laugh or giggle or learn a little bit more about Jenny and I. This would be perfect because we are going to talk Christmas. And
that's a pretty serious envelope. Like, that's top secret.
So, Jenny, you don't really know what I did here. Let me tell you, though, because the listeners are going to need to know, too.
However, in big, bright red letters, it says, do not open until recording. So I'm curious.
Top secret.
What is it?
So, inside here are 10 to 12 questions.
Okay.
All around the topic of Christmas. Like, what's your favorite, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea which ones are in here. I gave a trusted friend of mine about a list of 30, and that person narrowed it down to 10 to 12.
Does this person know us?
Yes. I'm not at liberty to discuss who that person is. They gave me this, and I wrote questions for ICC Christmas Special. Do not open until recording. And even on the back, just so we know it hasn't been opened yet, the words Bobcat are written, and it's not torn.
It's not. That's legit.
So we need to get this started.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
You want some holiday instrumental music on while we're...
As I'm opening it up.
I can do that.
Oh, I thought you were going to like hum it.
No, I was going to. I started that earlier.
It's sealed pretty good.
Did you lick that shut?
Yeah. Do you find that gross?
Yes, I do.
Some people do not find it gross. My wife thinks it's disgusting. But I am it's made to be licked. I'm licking the end of it.
I'm afraid of getting a paper cut on my tongue. I hate paper cuts on my fingers, so it'd be even worse on my...
That would hurt.
Yeah.
You ready for question number 1?
I am ready for question number 1.
All right. Here it is.
Okay.
Do you like Christmas decorations? How do you feel about the colors of red and green together?
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first with that, Jenny.
All right. Well, I think it's obvious that I love Christmas. The colors of red and green I love. And actually, every time you see them, it makes me think of Christmas. So I really like them during Christmas time. But otherwise, I prefer them not to be together because it does bring up that feeling of Christmas. But I love the colors red and green together.
So I've never really thought about colors red and green together. I don't mind it. I don't know if I'd say it reminds me of Christmas every time I see it. As far as decorations, I absolutely love Christmas decorations.
It's my favorite. What's your favorite decoration in your house?
So we have a nativity scene on the outside.
I saw it.
And it is the blow mold, like the plastic Mary and Joseph. You know, they're probably 3 foot tall. We got a flock of sheep. You know, most people have like maybe 2 sheep. We have 3. We have 2 donkeys, a camel, a cow, 3 wise men, a shepherd, baby Jesus, Mary and Joseph, and a star. And they all are housed inside like a 4 foot by 4 foot nativity scene, like made out of wood cedar.
All right, I think I need to come back to your house because I walked by that just 3 days ago. Really? You have that much?
It's total nostalgia.
Huh. I have to go back and check it out.
They're getting all like the paint's starting to fall off some, and some of them are like starting to get thin and cracked and stuff. It's just when I think of Christmas decorations, that's right where my mind goes. And the fact that they're like old and kind of falling apart makes it even better.
Yeah. So at my house, I have a nativity set in my house that goes underneath my tree that was my grandma's.
Is it plastic?
Oh no, it is porcelain. It's completely breakable. And actually, when Claire, my oldest, was 2, bad me, I had it on a low shelf, and she got a hold of one of the wise men. So we no longer have the 3 wise men. We have 2. But that broke my heart because that was my grandma's set. But that is the one thing that is the last thing that we put out every single year, and we all sit down together and put it out.
Where is the 3rd wise man then?
It's shattered.
So it's not like
There was no
it's not like
putting
a,
it back
like
together.
a cup with the wise men in it just next to the other wise men.
No, because
So-
that would break my heart every year getting it back out.
What's funny is you say your grandma gave you it.
Yep.
Guess who gave me my nativity set that's in our front yard?
Did you get it from your grandma?
My grandma and grandpa.
That's awesome.
And I just think it's funny because your grandma's probably like, Jenny, you're sophisticated and intelligent. Here's a nice porcelain set. And my grandma's probably like, Greg, you're a redneck. And these look really nice outside in the dead of winter. We're giving you the plastic ones.
But it looks really awesome.
They do look good.
They look good.
They're probably all blown over today because it's been like
It's pretty windy.
35-mile-an-hour winds.
But warm. But tomorrow we're in for that shock of winter.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
You
I'm
ready for the next question?
I am. That was a good one.
I don't know if we're going to get through all of these. We're just going to go as much as we have time.
I get to pick the next one.
All right.
Okay.
Are there any special foods or drinks you enjoy at Christmas time that are unique to the Christmas period? Food or drink?
Food or drink? Boy, that's a tough one.
Want me to lead off?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. When I think of Christmas food, I think like a line of crock pots with like meatballs in one, little smokies in another, and like 18 different kinds of cheese dip with sausage in it. Like the stuff with
Yep.
at the base of that stuff is like Velveeta. So
Yeah.
you know it's good.
Right.
And most likely clogs your arteries. Like you can feel your arteries and heart just like hardening as you eat the stuff. But it's delicious.
Yeah.
I guess in my family, like I always have enjoyed like the appetizers of Christmas as opposed to like the big meal.
The big meal. Well,
When I
that's
think
kinda
big
what I
meal,
was-
I think Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. That's what kind of threw me for a loop on that one. Okay, so growing up, my Wagner side, the Wagner family, we had a big family, and when we would go for Christmases, my grandpa drove a milk route, and so every year, whoever drove the milk route in the morning, we're originally Cheddarheads. Not me, but my dad was a Cheddarhead.
From Wisconsin?
From Wisconsin. So my grandpa used to own a cheese factory, so he would actually make the cheese and all of that. So Dad's family is huge and in love with cheese curds. Not like the cheese curds that you buy at a grocery store in Iowa that's not fresh. We're talking like out of the tank, fresh cheese curds that squeak and is still warm. Okay?
I think we had a disagreement on cheese curds once.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a training somewhere, and I bought some at a gas station.
And it was gross.
And I'm like, these are pretty good. And you
Oh.
can kind of hear something squeaking maybe. And you're
That
like,
was your
you're
teeth.
like, Greg, these are disgusting. You need to throw them away.
I'm going to buy you fresh cheese curds
All right,
sometime.
I'm ready.
No, but so I think I go back to those Christmases when we were little, and whoever did the milk route that morning. So Grandpa sold the cheese factory. They moved to Iowa. He became he hauled milk, and whoever did the milk route that morning, whether it would have been Grandpa or any of my uncles, they would go to Wisconsin. They would drop off the milk, and they would bring back like 20 pounds of cheese curds. And so that night at Christmas, the Wagners ate cheese curds, and all of our stomachs hurt.
And no one went to the bathroom for 2 days.
It was a long time. So I would say cheese curds would be the food that reminds me of Christmas.
Just straight up cheese curds?
Straight up cheese
Not
curds.
like fried and breaded?
Oh no, you're ruining it then.
I'm just Americanizing it.
I'm going to bring you
All
fresh
right.
Wisconsin cheese
I
curds
will take
sometime.
some.
Okay,
You
All
want
right.
to take the next question?
I do.
Think you can handle it?
I think so. All right. Do you enjoy Christmas songs? Which is your favorite?
Yes. And I don't like them until like after Thanksgiving. We've had this conversation.
Eye roll, insert there.
What?
Insert eye roll there.
Oh,
Mine.
yes. So in my mind, they need to come after Thanksgiving and not after the first of the year. So there is a window, but I love it. I have a station on my car where it's continuous Christmas music, and I'm proud to say my station's always there. My favorite song, last year, people may remember the Metallica version of Oh, Holy Night, which could be topped by the AC/DC version of The Stars Are Brightly Shining. However, I think my taste is changing or evolving. This year I've really been enjoying I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day.
I think you brought this one up last year. I don't think that's one I know. I have to listen to that one.
So it's kind of just, it's more of a somber song as far as like this guy knowing what Christmas is about, but not really feeling that that's what is going on all around him, and then kind of just thinking like, what is this really about?
Yep.
And then kind of like sad that this is where what it's become about.
So I would agree. I love Christmas music. We will agree to disagree that it is okay to listen to Christmas music before Thanksgiving, because I think I may have had it on since November 1st. And
So you go like right from Monster Mash to Silent Night?
100%. And actually, okay, so put it that way. I was listening to it before Halloween.
That's sick.
I just love Christmas music. I love the words. I love the artists when they sing it. So my favorite one is an Alabama one, and it's Santa Claus, I Still Believe in You.
Okay.
And it's all about, I think we've had this discussion before, so this one is kind of somber, but it's all about Christmas memories. So like going to Christmases and having the memories of like your grandpa sitting in the big old recliner, and that the belief in Santa Claus isn't the figure of Santa Claus, but that feeling of believing in somebody that brings everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100%. Stop that. When it comes to Christmas, I know that the true meaning for me is that Jesus was born. That's my faith. But this one it brings back all of those Christmas memories and the Christmas memories of being with family and all those things that you remember. My grandpa coming out playing Silent Night on his harmonica after supper. Before we could open up a present, Grandpa would get out either his accordion or his harmonica, which he was amazing at, and he would either play Silent Night or Oh Come All You Faithful. So, but that song, Santa Claus, I Still Believe in You, just brings me back and makes me think of all of those memories of when I was a child.
That's awesome, Jenny. Isn't it crazy how music can do that?
And that's why I like that. That's why I might put it on in July sometimes.
I think what I like about Christmas music too is there's a set number of songs, and new Christmas songs come out, but you have so many different artists singing the same song and taking like different renditions on it.
Yep.
Slowing it down, speeding it up, other music things that people do with like tempo and stuff like that.
Who's your favorite old-time artist for singing Christmas music? I have mine.
I really like Johnny Cash's Christmas album. And it is one where it's just like, if this wasn't Johnny Cash, this would like suck. Huh. Because it's kind of like gravelly, and he's like, he's got that gravel in his voice. A little Metallica? No, not so much. But just more of a gravelly voice, because he was older when he sang it. And I just love it.
Mine is Burl Ives.
Never heard of him. Or her.
What?
Burl?
Burl. He's the snowman in Rudolph. He
is the narrator.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a Christmas album.
Well, he sings all of those songs in the show.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, you learned something new today.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so do you want to do another?
I'm going to do another one since you got to do the first two. I want to get a tough one out. I feel like these are easy.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a good one.
All right, I'm ready.
What kind of weather do you prefer to have at Christmas time? Is a white Christmas typical for you?
Yes.
Are you one of those people that are like, it can come 3 days before Christmas and then after it has to be gone?
No. Here's what I just said in the lounge the other day.
Okay.
people eyeballed me down and were throwing forks and stuff at me. I said, it's December, we can have snow. We can have snow in January, we can have snow in February, and then in March it needs to start melting. I am totally on board. Like, we live in Iowa, people, where it's winter, it's going to be cold, and if it's going to be cold, we might as well have snow.
Yes. I love snow. There is nothing better, and you have a fireplace in your basement now.
Yeah.
There is nothing better than sitting and watching a snowstorm while you're sitting by the fire, drinking a cup of hot chocolate with the marshmallows filled to the brim.
Eating cheese curds.
Yes, absolutely. I think winter and snow I love winter. People are
I'm
like,
a fan
oh,
of winter, too.
I love it. And actually, so Mr. Myers, if Mr. Myers is listening right now, he knows my love of snow. And so every year, he's not in our building anymore.
Mr. Carl Myers?
Yes.
Hey, Carl.
He's not in our building anymore, but he always, every single year, somehow, a sign would end up on my door that said, just say no to snow, with a big old snowflake and an X through it every single year. As soon as it would start to get cold and I would get giddy about snow, he would put that on my door.
People like that move to Florida.
Yep.
This is Iowa.
When I was in the classroom and I was teaching, I would wait. I would know when it was going to snow. The second I would see the first snowflake, I would open up my curtains. I would stop all instruction. I would tell the kids to climb up on the counters, and we would watch it snow, and then we would go back to our desk and we would talk about our feelings. Write about how you feel right now watching it.
It is exciting, though,
It
having
is.
a snowstorm in an elementary school, and it's like it's coming down and so forth.
Kids now know that I love snow. So when that day that it snowed on and off just a little bit, I had kids walking by. Mrs. Hillebrand, did you see it snowing outside? So I love it. I love white Christmas.
Snow is good.
Snow is good.
And it's funny because I think of like all the Hallmark Christmas movies my wife watches. Every one of them, it's in snow.
Yep. Or
And
at
if
the
it's
most,
like in the tropics, it's like when I'm watching this one.
Yeah.
'Cause not we, you're not watching this. I would
so
never.
did you know that we don't get the Hallmark channel normally?
Mm-hmm.
And this weekend, it was free weekend Hallmark.
Oh my.
I was so unproductive. I videotaped at least, or I DVR'd, I didn't videotape. I DVR'd at least a dozen of them, and they will be on repeat every weekend now.
Christy watched A Smoky Mountain Christmas with the kids the other day.
Is that John Denver and Reba McEntire?
No, it's Dolly.
Or, yeah, not Reba. Dolly.
And,
Dolly's partner. Is it John Denver?
I don't think John Denver's in it. But Caleb asked, why is that lady's hair so big? That's all he asked. I'm glad, yeah.
I'll go get my senior pictures out. He can see some big hair.
All right.
Okay.
Which do you enjoy more, giving or receiving gifts?
This is easy for me. I love giving.
Why?
I'm big on making sure that the gifts that I give are pretty meaningful. Like, Jason could say something back in February that he wants for Christmas, and I will remember it so that when it's the next Christmas, I will get it for him. And that is, like, important to me. I love giving gifts that, they don't have to cost a lot, but I love giving gifts that are super meaningful and things that they may have said a long time ago that they would like, and I remember that, and then that's what I give. So I love giving. I love seeing the people's faces.
Does Jason return that same love of giving?
What's the next question?
So I'm taking that as no.
I love
So
you, honey. No.
I am like a Jason, I feel like.
Okay.
As far as, I just don't get into it. But I don't really enjoy receiving gifts either. In my mind, I want to get to the point where, and say like, unless you're under 18, you don't get any gifts from me. I want to do that sometime.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like so many times people are stressed about spending money, getting gifts, going to the stores, and all this stuff, that it just puts people in a bad mood.
I can see that. Amazon Prime has been my friend.
It is mine, too. Christy and I sat down to do some shopping the other night. Put the kids in bed and it's like, hey, hon, let's go shopping. She pulled out her phone, I pulled out my phone, and we started ordering stuff.
Yeah.
It worked out great.
Actually, though, we took my mom shopping this weekend. So every year, my sister-in-law and I always take mom shopping to get her gifts. And it's funny because she gets a little grumpy if we don't get going right away.
Mm-hmm.
And because she gets anxious that we're not going to get the right gift or we're not going to get what we want. But even there's something to be said about the hustle and bustle of being in the mall and seeing.
Like you enjoy that?
I do.
Oh.
Not like the week before. I'm talking not Black Friday, not the day after Thanksgiving. I refuse. I did that one year and I refuse to ever do that again. But a couple weeks after Black Friday, a couple weeks before Christmas, it's busy, but it's not complete chaos with all those last minute shoppers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind it. I like it. I do.
Okay.
It just puts me in the spirit. I don't get cranky about that kind of stuff, though.
See, I don't like getting bumped into by people.
You don't like to be touched.
And,
yeah.
And it's just, we drove by the Menards on Black Friday, and it was just like, you gotta be crazy. People in there saving $2 for a pair of slippers and a blanket.
Exactly.
Waiting in line for like 4 hours probably.
And the funny thing is, for those people who do Black Friday shopping, it is because of that feeling of saving and getting up early. And I like my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning when the store's open.
To each their own, though. If someone wants to do that, hey, go out and do it.
Exactly.
See if we got time for one more.
One more? All right, here we go. Okay. The first part of this we kind of already answered.
Okay.
So talking about our Christmas trees at our house. Real or fake, which do you think is better?
The correct answer here is real.
Real. I agree.
The Detmeyers have a fake tree on the upstairs.
Okay.
Now that their basement is 90% completed, I am going to go buy a real tree probably within the next week and put it up down there. I'm going to get some old classic light bulbs, like the big ones,
The big ones.
and I'm going to put them on there, and we're going to have both.
I like that idea. So we were going to do that. Real or fake one upstairs, real one downstairs. Didn't happen. We have 2 fake ones. I like the real ones. So when Jason and I were first married, we got 2 trees, and one of them, he said to me, he's like, Jenny, that tree is too big for our house. I'm like, it's not too big for our house. Like, our front living room's big. It'll fit perfect. So we put this tree up, and of course, they tie it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason's brother, Justin, came along with us to go pick up these trees. And so we had 2 trees. One was small for the back room. One was, the one I wanted. And Jason kept telling me it was too big. And Justin laughed. He had to sit on the trees in the back of the truck because the tree that I had picked out wouldn't go through that chute thing that tied it up. It was too big. Okay. That should have been indicator number 1 that we shouldn't bring this tree home. But we did.
They're like, this is the only tree that we cannot do this with.
So we brought it home, and we got it into the living room, and I think they tied it. I think they just took twine string and tried to tie it for us. So we unclipped the first twine, and I felt like Jason was Clark Griswold. The tree took up half the living room. Took up half the living room, and I looked at him like, all right, you were right. I'm like, but we have nothing in this corner. Let's just move it to the corner. So we did that, and it took up the entire corner of the living room. And that January, his brother got married, so that ended up being, it was so big, it ended up being the backdrop to their main table at their wedding reception.
Oh, my.
When we took it out of the house, the door frame of the front door, we had to replace that because it was so big. It took 4 people to push the tree through and 2 to pull it out.
It's a multi-use tree.
Yeah. I learned my lesson, so we haven't had a real tree since that.
I just want a little one.
Yeah.
And we may disagree here, but in my mind, I don't think you should go too crazy and elegant on a Christmas tree.
I agree.
I think it have to have a certain element of just old school, people were putting a tree in our house and throwing lights on it and decorating it. Some people make very beautiful trees, but in my house, it has to be almost like a nostalgic tree that you'd see on a Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm. I love when my kids make ornaments and they can go on the tree. We joke when my mom puts up her tree that she has all of our old ornaments, but
in the box.
Or the back.
The back
that
of the
nobody
tree?
sees. Yes. So my mom had surgery this year right before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving break, we helped her put her tree up. And of course my brothers weren't there. So I made sure to put, I have a little mouse that's made out of 2 little wooden balls, and it has pipe cleaners for the ears and the tail. And it says, baby's first Christmas, Jenny, 1979. Oop, I just said, oop, there we go. I'm
Back in
one
the
of
70s, so this thing is pretty ancient.
It is, but it is in great shape. So I was helping decorate Mom's tree, and I put it right on the front of the tree, and I sent a picture to my brothers, and I said, here's what happens when you help Mom put up the Christmas tree. All of your childhood ornaments come to the front.
Has she moved them since?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I should look. I bet she moved them, because that would bother her to have that old one in front.
Just boom right there.
Yeah,
That's all
because
you can
she's
see.
the one that gets new ornaments every year, and they're really fancy, pretty. Her tree is beautiful, but she definitely has the elegant, fancy, pretty tree.
I'm terrified of some of these bulbs too. Like if you drop like a nice glass bulb,
Oh, yeah.
things like jagged and it blasts into like 1,000 pieces, and with our little kids going around,
Yeah, you
could
want
be
that to happen.
pretty dangerous.
Absolutely.
Well, Jenny, that concludes our Christmas special. This time, I just want to take a moment and tell all the listeners, hey, have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. We will be back in 2018 with some additional material, and keep chugging along. So Merry Christmas. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for being awesome listeners. It's been a great year.
All right, and we're not going to do our normal ending. We're just going to sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Go, Jenny.
All right. Have a great Christmas, everybody.
All right, be awesome.